Who will win the coveted crown overall profit leader this year at WagerTalk? Multiple handicappers are in the running, and we took the current top three and packaged them together through the rest of the year for one low price, saving you thousands. Our current leaders are up a combined 287 units of profit so far in 2022. Andrew McKinnis is up 154 units, Dave Cokin is up 76 units, and Tokyo Brandon is up 57 units. There are over 200 days left in 2022, and a 90-day all access is priced at $7.49 per handicapper. For a limited time, we will toss in the rest of the year for free. Yep, get our current top three profit leaders for 259 days for the price of $90, coming out to just $2.89 per handicapper.
It is Thursday, April 28th, and welcome to WagerTalk Today. Noon back east, 9 a.m. here on the left coast. We are live in Sin City, or at least I am. My co-host, Lawrence Presman, will join us in just a moment. He's live back east in Toronto somewhere. I'm not going to worry about that right now. What we are going to worry about is what we have on today's show. Dave Cokin batting leadoff today. Cokin's going to talk about the Red Sox and the Blue Jays. You want to go to the NHL and talk about Vancouver against the LA Kings. In my big game breakdown, I'm going to talk Cubs and Braves. Ralph Michaels going to join us today. He's got a great chart, another great chart from the pen, talking about money lines versus run lines, what months work, what months aren't as good. We're talking about $2 favorites or higher. He's also going to talk about the White Sox and the Royals early start action today, and Ralph will talk about the 76ers and the Raptors in Game 6 NBA action tonight. We'll close out the show with Carmine Bianco. He's got a pair of NHL to talk about: New Jersey and Carolina, the Islanders, and the Capitals. But first, before we get any of that, let me introduce my co-host, Lawrence Presman. Lawrence, I want to ask you, what'd you learn last night?
Well, firstly, I was that great opening, Teddy.
Yeah, I'm trying to teach you how to do it.
Oh, I missed it.
Yeah, 2 years later.
I just said great opening. I was just being nice. I missed the whole opening. Dan, was it good? Was it good? No, Dan just gave a thumbs down in my ear. Anyway, what did I learn last night, Teddy? I learned that I should have stuck with my original gut. And does this happen to you? I went to bed on the night. What day? I went to bed Tuesday night, and I'm like, I'm passing in hockey on Wednesday. I am passing. Then I do puck time. I dig deep into all the stuff because of puck time. I'm like, okay, I like the Rangers. I'm going to release them. And then I sat there all night going, why didn't I pass? That happened to you?
It does. Usually for me, it happens the other way. I'm like convinced I'm going to play something, and then I end up passing the next day, and I'm kicking myself for doing that.
Well,
that's
a better way.
The nature of what we do, Lawrence, the nature of what we do is always going to be, should I have done it? A lot of cappers try to automate their processes so that you don't have that constant, I should have, I shouldn't. It's a constant battle. There's no way around it. You know what I did last night?
Tell me.
I had dinner with Rob Vino Jr.
Oh, is that his name?
Yeah. Rob's got two kids. He's got Nick and Rob Jr. And I had dinner with Junior last night, this is a kid I knew he was when he was a baby. And now he's like 25 and getting married. And he works for ESPN. It's like, normally when you're going through life, Prez, I don't feel old every day. I'm not one of these guys, I'm so old now. And then all of a sudden you see this kid that you knew when he was a baby, and he's 25 years old, sharp as a tack.
Yep.
All right. The kid will be running ESPN in 10 years. Mark my words. He's that type of a motivated, and he's that sharp. And it's, number one, it's impressive to hang out with him. But number two, boy, you feel old when, a kid that you knew when he was in diapers is all of a sudden like, here he is getting married,
dude,
and working for the 4-letter network. So it is what it is, man. But great to hang out with him. Rob, no surprise that Rob Vino's son is every bit the gentleman that Rob Vino is.
Yeah, well, I have an I feel old story. I spent 20 minutes yesterday rolling joints for my 18-year-old.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, good dad. Some would say a bad dad. I consider it a good dad. I mean, my attitude is, and I'll tell this to any parent who is having their kids enter teenage years. If they want to have sex, they will. If they want to do drugs, they will. If they want to drink, they will. There is nothing you're going to do to stop that. So my priority as a parent is to have a totally open communication channel. If they're going to smoke pot, I'd rather roll it for them. They're going to drink, I'll rather buy it for them. If they're going to have sex, do it in their bedroom with their boyfriend, not in the back of a car. I just want a completely open relationship with my children. And so I don't know. I mean, it's an interesting parental question. I'm not suggesting I'm right or wrong here. Thoughts?
This much I know. Like, I wouldn't have, like, if I would have brought it up to my, hey, Dad, will you roll a joint for me? I mean, in my wildest imagination, I couldn't imagine that conversation, dude. It would never have even happened. So parenthood has changed. I'll find, Isaac's gonna be 11 this year. On this whole, the tween stuff is beginning.
Send him to me.
Stuff is just around the corner.
Send him to me. I want him for a month or two. One of our listeners, I said I should have rolled her a blunt next time. Funny, she actually pulled out the blunt papers, and she's like, "You just fill it," and I'm like, "No, you can fill that. Get me zigzags." And I even gave her a nice 3-paper coner. Oh, it was good. I haven't rolled in a while, dude. I felt good. It's been a while. Anyway, Teddy, I got a dilemma. So
your dilemma is when we should bring Dave Cokin in?
No, we're going to actionable info right now. Actionable info coming out of my mouth. Ready? So in a Game 7 series, a team that has won the first 3 and then lost the next 2, Philadelphia 76ers. They are 8-2 straight up in their last 10 and 7-3 ATS. Every stat and every spot suggests the 76ers tonight. I want to release them to my clients, but I refuse because I'm going to cheer for the Raptors. So everybody, my 4% best bet tonight in the NBA is the Philadelphia 76ers, but I am not releasing it to the clients. It's going into the ether. There, that's it. I just cannot bring myself to cheer for Philadelphia today, Teddy. That's all I just wanted to say. Anything? Dave Cokin?
That's arguably the single most unprofessional thing you've said on the show ever. If you like a bet, you make the bet. If you don't like a bet, you don't make the bet. If it's a good bet, if it's a 4% bet and you're not giving it to your clients because you're a Raptor fan,
I gave it out.
That's dereliction of duty, in my opinion. But knock yourself out.
And I don't think it's going to win. I think the Raptors are going to buck that trend, Teddy. I think the Raptors are going to buck that trend.
Then why was Philly a 4% play for you before you threw it out?
Well, I'm saying it hit the criteria, and then I looked at other areas in my heart, and I'm like, nope. I released the 76ers already. I've already played against the Raptors for my clients. Anyway, Dave Cokin joining us. Oh, we got a tip. Thank you. Dave, how are you, man? Any golf? That's the most important question.
Yeah, I took a couple of real long shot stabs in the Mexico Open. It's a terrible field. John Rahm will probably win it, but I didn't bet him. Look, as far as the fan stuff goes, that's in my business. In our business, that doesn't exist.
I get it.
My biggest hockey. I'm kind of a Golden Knights fan. I'd like to see them do well. First ever 5% prop I made in the NHL was the under on the points for the Golden Knights this year. Big winner. And by the way, I bet against them last night.
Nice.
Took the Blackhawks plus 180 last night and won that. I'm a fan of winning the money. That's all I care about.
Yeah, Dave, look, I get it, man. I'm with you. And a nice under on the Vegas Golden Knights. And, man, I don't know if you got to watch the shootout last night, but their body language, like, it was unbelievable. It was they basically just floated down the ice trying to put Chicago away, but that did not happen. Dave, let's get straight to it, man. Red Sox and Jays. I was on the over in the Jay game last night. Missed it by a run. Had a real shot, though. 2-on in the bottom of the ninth. Just needed a fly ball. Didn't happen. How are you betting this game?
Well, I love the Red Sox, so I must be on them. No. Actually, I like the first 500 in this game. Whitlock, he's looked good. He is emerging as a force to be reckoned with on the Red Sox staff. I don't know what his ultimate role will be because he's been really good as a reliever, but they need starting pitching. And very impressive at his first start. I think he can get the job done today. Manoah on the mound for the Blue Jays, and he's just proving that what we saw last year was no fluke. This guy's legit. He might only have 2 pitches that are quality pitches, but they're such good quality pitches, it doesn't much matter. So I think you've got the makings of a low-scoring game early on here. Red Sox offense finally did something last night, but it's been terrible for the last week or so. Toronto offense got held down last night, so maybe they can get held down again. I didn't make this a big play because the total's 3.5 with the overjuiced. So I went under 3.5 first 5 at even money. Kept it small. It's a 2% play because you do have to respect the Toronto offense, and the odds makers obviously have the same opinion I had. But I still think it's worth the bet. Small play on the under first 5 between the Blue Jays and Red Sox.
So you kind of answered my follow-up question at the very end there, Dave, because, when you talk about Boston finally finding their offensive stroke last night, they haven't hit well, but they found something in the late innings yesterday. And Toronto's got as potent a lineup as you'll find in MLB. Does it worry you with a 3.5, a potent lineup, and a lineup that found their stride yesterday?
I have been betting for, a little more than 50 years. There's never been a bet where I didn't have some worry. Well, there's been a couple, but they were.
I want to know what those were.
One was in boxing, where let's just say I had some good information on a fighter who.
Fair enough.
And the other was a horse race that was fixed that I happened to get some information on.
Dave Cokin, everyone. Dave, outstanding start to the calendar year, man. Just amazing. Up 93% ROI since January 1st. Congratulations on that. Let's talk some hockey. You've had a great hockey season. Up profit for your clients. Canucks are playing the Kings today. I like this spot for the Canucks, Dave. I think we're going to see them finish out strong. Obviously, there's nothing for them to play for, but there's going to be prideful teams and not prideful teams, and I think we're going to get a good game out of Vancouver tonight. Where are you going here?
Yeah, I don't disagree. The odds makers and the market feel the same way, and they priced it now to the point where I'm not going to. If it was minus 125, I'd be on it. I think it's minus 145 now. I don't want to lay that much. The Kings, they know who they're playing. They're playing Edmonton in the first round. They rested some guys last night. I would anticipate they might do the same tonight. But they still went out and won the game last night. That's been the story of the year for the Kings. They've overcome a lot this season. I mean, the Golden Knights have used the injuries as an excuse for why they didn't live up to billing. The Kings have had just as many injuries as the Golden Knights. They're going to the playoffs, and they weren't supposed to be a playoff team. So it's about team chemistry. I think Vancouver's the right side because it is kind of a nothing game for LA. And the seeding doesn't matter. They know who they're playing. And the Canucks, I think, would like to finish with a flourish. They've played very well under Bruce Boudreau, even though they're not going to make the playoffs. So I think the Canucks are on the right side. But unfortunately, they've priced it to a point now where it's just too much of a premium to pay. Minus 125, yes. Minus 145, nah.
Dave Cokin, everyone. Dave, anything to promote, anything to talk about before we let you go?
I have a best bet in baseball today. Off to a good start. I think we're up about 17 units so far in baseball, so trucking along nicely there. I made a small play that I just told you about on the under first 5 in the Red Sox Blue Jays. That's a 2% play. The 4% play, that's available right now on my my homepage, wt.buzz/DC, and I think it's got a good chance to get there. And it's an underdog, by the way. So check it out if you like, and let's root it home.
Nice stuff, Dave. Love having you on this show. Thanks for joining us, Dave Cokin, everybody. Yeah. Okay, I'm calm now, Teddy. Let's take a break, bro. We're gonna come back with Teddy's big game breakdown. Ralph Michaels and Carmine Bianco.
All we can say is wow. We ran an NBA playoff special in which the first 99 packages sold were discounted down to $149, and pardon the pun, they sold like hotcakes. Well, NHL fans, do not fret, as we are not only matching that offer, but we are actually making it better. Starting Monday, April 25th, the first 99 packages sold using the code PUCK149 will not only get the entire NHL playoffs for only $149, but they will also get the rest of the regular season for free. That means that you can get over 2 months of NHL through the Stanley Cup Finals for under $19 per week. That's paying less than one single play package regularly priced at $25. Do not get shut out, as coupon code PUCK149 is good at both WagerTalk and Sports Memo, and only will be available for the first 99 packages sold, but you may use this code to purchase more than one NHL playoff package.
It is time for today's big game breakdown. Let's talk some MLB for tonight. It's a daytime heavy card in baseball. Figure we'll talk about one for this evening. And boy, this has been a lot of steam. There's been a lot of steam on this game. The Cubs and the Braves, heavy Atlanta money this morning. I'm seeing minus 220s out there, minus 230s out there. Let's call the prevailing line minus 210, minus $2, wherever you want to call it, for Atlanta. Total's been bet down. There were 8.5s, now mostly 8 out there. Why all the money for Atlanta? Why all the money for the under? The markets are hot and heavy for Kyle Wright. And you understand why. The guy's a former number 1 overall draft choice. I think he was a 5th overall pick back in 2017. He's had his fair share of issues through the years, but so far this season, he's been dynamite. The Braves are 3-0 when it starts. He's got 26 strikeouts and 2 walks and 2 runs allowed in 17 innings. And when you start getting that type of statistical profile, the markets go crazy when you're striking out that many batters and not walking anyone. And the advanced metrics say you're the best pitcher in baseball, Kyle, right? Is he? I don't think so. Not yet, anyway. So, Wright's really hot. Behind Wright, let's see, Braves closer Kenley Jansen just went back-to-back games. He's not going 3 in a row. The bullpen behind Jansen got rocked, took the loss last night, and it was a bullpen game. Extra inning, Charlie Morton only got 1 out in the 3rd before getting pulled. It's not like they're fresh in the pen behind him. It's not like their closer's healthy. All right. Meanwhile, the other side of the equation, here's a Cubs team. All right. Drew Smyly pitching. Where'd Smyly pitch last year? He pitched for the Braves. In fact, he pitched in the playoffs for the Braves. He pitched in the World Series for the Braves. He won 11 games for this team last year. What did Atlanta do in the offseason? Thanks for helping us. Bye-bye. Signed in Chicago. You think he's looking forward to this start? Can we get a couple of passes through the rotation with Drew Smyly today? I think we can. Meanwhile, Cubs bats. There's no buzz with the Cubs bats right now. You know what they are? Number 1 in MLB in batting average. Number 1 in MLB in OPS. This team's hitting the baseball. They're getting clutch hits. They're getting big hits. Chicago's live. They're going to live first 5. They're going to live full game. When you play a dog and you split it first 5 full game, all you got to do is win 1 out of the 2 to make a profit. I wouldn't be surprised if you win both. Give me the Cubs at the big plus price. Well, fade the wise guy favorite Kyle Wright and look for Chicago to steal a win. There's your big game breakdown. Back to you, Mr. Prez.
Teddy covers. John Clark, one of our listeners, asked a question that I know neither of us can answer. And that is, do you keep a record of your big game breakdowns? Like, what is the record this calendar year or since the show
I do
began?
not.
Or what?
I don't track it. I give the opinion, and it's gone. The big game breakdowns for me largely are, we talk about leans versus plays. Mostly for me, it's a top lean that didn't go, that didn't make the card. Sometimes it is a 3% play for me. Most times it's a top lean. And sometimes, if everyone's talking baseball, I got to do a basketball game. If everyone's talking basketball, I'll do a baseball game. Sometimes the game that I have a modest opinion on, but we needed it for the show. So I don't track the record. Feel free to do it out there. Someone out there, if you guys want to track me by all means. I expect over the long term, it'll be pretty close to even.
Teddy covers. Teddy Ralph Michaels joining us, and he's wearing a Cleveland Browns shirt. And, Ralph, I got problems with the Browns, bro. I don't know. You're wearing the colors of a team that's supporting a man who sexually assaulted hundreds, thousands, millions, every woman he's ever spoke to, met, or looked at. That's a total exaggeration. But anyway, I got issues with it.
Did you ever give out the Baltimore Ravens with Ray Lewis on the team?
I never wore their shirt.
Well, you know what? When you live there for 50 years, Prez, and you're a Browns.
We lost volume there, Ralph.
Draft day to week number 2 are the only times you get to have excitement when you're a Cleveland sports fan.
You betting the draft tonight, Ralph?
Here in Vegas already, it's already closed off. They stopped taking bets at 5 o'clock local time on Wednesday. Therefore, if you're the first to hear any news, you can't abuse it at the sports book. So it's already shut down here in Las Vegas.
And I'll tell you what, Prez, hearing sportsbook directors talk about it, they wish it was shut down everywhere right now. That rule may change elsewhere in years to come. But for right now, bettors outside of the state of Nevada can take advantage as they're just looking to build handle. But the books will not do well on the draft tonight in aggregate. The wise guys have got the best of it, unless there's a whole lot of surprises. Books might take a bath this evening.
Well, then give us something. The people who can still bet.
It's gone now. It's gone.
Okay.
Trayvon Walker was 20-1 to be the number 1 overall pick. Now he's -$2. You understand? It's gone.
Wow.
The day of the draft, it's not there anymore.
I pay no attention. Dude, the draft,
I know.
You can only
You've said
bet
that
so
many
much
times
stuff.
over the course of the show, over the course of the last couple of weeks, which is why we should let Ralph talk.
Okay, Ralph, talk.
Well,
Pull
you know
your
what?
chart up.
I love answering people's questions, and the esteemed Teddy Covers reached out a couple weeks ago. If you remember, 2 weeks ago here on the show, we were breaking down favorites to 150, 150 to 2, and -200 or higher. And Teddy asked if I could break down favorites of -200 or higher. I went one step further, and Dan, if you could show us the top chart of the big favorites and the yellows. I also had a couple requests on Twitter's. Well, you broke down favorites of 200 or more. Can you do favorites of 300 or more and 400 or more? So I went back to 2018. Take a look at favorites of 300 or more. Not many people are going to bet them, but they've shown a profit of 33.6 units. When you look at teams that are favorites of -400 or more, that's been a negative, and you can actually back those -400 numbers out of the -300 favorites. So we normally don't see -400s till late in the year when you have one team tanking and one team doing well. So keep a thought on that. -300s still have been in the black. Any surprises there, Teddy?
Not at all. Because when you talk about -400s, it doesn't take many losses to even things out real quick. Which is why, where that was, I think the number were 18-5, but it was negative in terms of profitability. But when you're talking about the $3 price tag, wise guys don't go there a lot. They just don't. So the fact that there's actually value on the $3 favorites in baseball doesn't shock me at all.
Well, Teddy, let's follow through and answer your question now. You asked me to break down -200 favorites. If Dan could show us that chart, I broke them down month by month. And again, is there any surprise that in March and April, if you are playing -200 favorites, it has not been profitable. And then you look at October, again, very few plays in October, basically a break even. But if you look at the percentages and the lines, May is actually the best month since 2018 to bet favorites of minus 200 or more. Why? Well, they're hitting 78.3%. And if you look at the average line is the shortest line of all those numbers. Interestingly, in September, take a look at the run line to the right. You see that red pop out. You get into September and there's call-ups and the rosters are expanded and you're laying that type of price, don't lay it on the run line because that's been a losing proposition, only hitting 55%, an average line of minus 133. That's minus 16.4 units. Guys, don't worry, a lot of information on this chart. I will post it on Twitter at CalSportsLV right after the break. But Teddy, I also did this for you, which I'll post and tag you as well. I broke down.
Ralph,
yep.
Before you move on to the next one, let me talk about that one for a minute real quick because
Okay.
it's real important, because that actually, the reason I asked you to do it.
While Teddy's talking? Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
The reason I asked you to run by month, and I talked about my theory was that it's going to be worst in April and in September. In April, because the markets don't know necessarily who should be the $2 favorites, and in September because of the call-ups and because you see you see some bizarre winning and losing streaks down the stretch. Bad teams can get hot in September. Good teams can go ice cold in September. It happens every year. So I thought that April and September would be the worst months for the big favorites. And that was just a theory in my head. You just put the data together, Ralph. That's exactly what it shows. April, markets don't know who's good yet. September, certainly the run line is negative September, where it's not negative in any other month except for April, which tells us when we're betting these bigger favorites in MLB, May, June, July, August, that's the sweet season. And that I love it when the theory that I had, and it was nothing more than a theory, Ralph. I think it should be April and September will be the weakest. And when you put up that chart, as soon as I did, when I looked at those 2 months, I'm like, sweet, the theory was right. Or at least mostly right. The MLB favorites of $2 or more in September, still profitable straight up, but not on the run line. Thanks, Ralph. Back to you.
Teddy, I took it one step further. We won't really talk about this, Dan, to just show it, and I will post it on Twitter again, at CalSportsLV. I broke down home favorites of minus 200 and away favorites of minus 200 month by month as well. So it gives you a little bit of an idea. Take a look at away favorites. In April, overall, it's a negative. Actually, away favorites in April, basically 500, but you're not losing money in that situation. But again, you could dive into this chart deeper after the show on your own times for all the viewers.
Yeah, it's a great chart. But that last chart, the one you just put up, Ralph, has an extraordinary amount of information. That's one I really want to look at closely. So I look forward to the tweet. Follow Ralph Michaels at CalSportsLV on Twitter. Lawrence?
Yeah, it's amazing. Ralph, your work is it's outstanding. It's so high level, brother. I just want to give a shout out to Manuel Rodriguez. He tipped the show $9.99. And then Revenant, Ralph, he tipped $10. And he specifically mentioned that it was for you, for your 5% winner. So lunch is on me. I will cover your bagel and cream cheese or whatever you're gonna eat. Also, speaking of tipping, because I wear my life open on this show. Jesus, I'm telling you guys about ayahuasca yesterday, about rolling joints for my kid today. Take a look at Pickle Jar. I just put a lot of money into that business. Look at the app, guys. It'll interest you. I just invested 7 figures into that business. Ralph, Chicago White Sox, Kansas City, 2:10 Eastern game. What do you got for us?
Well, let's look at a situation. The White Sox were off 8 straight losses. They finally win a game. How do teams respond after that? I did go to the database for this, guys. Since 2009, if you lost at least 5 straight games and then won a game, with the last 3 games being a favorite, and you're a favorite again this time, like the White Sox have been. So the White Sox have been a favorite the last 4 games. Those teams have won 62%, an average line of -148, plus 4 units. So I'm not telling you a wow number that's going to change the way you bet. Basically, I'm telling you it's not a positive and it's not a negative when a team loses 5 in a row and then gets a win. Do they really crack their streak and start fresh? Well, no, but again, it's not a negative either. So some of the data, it's important to know. It won't affect your handicapping one way or the other. I'll tell you what, though, I do like the White Sox here. I like a -0.5 a run, -120 for the first 5. And I also like the under in this game. You know, KC 1-5 on the road, 2-7 off a loss. They're both in the bottom 10 in MLB and slugging percentage versus righties. Kopech, 3 starts, a .64 ERA, a .78 WHIP. And Keller, hell, he's pitched 3 great games, a .9 WHIP. But you know what? Watching the Indians and Kluber for all those years, sometimes you can't explain it. Maybe the teams get a little tense. They know it's going to be a close game. They play great defense. But when pitchers get on a great run and they have poor run support, often he's over. Keller's team, the Royals, have scored 1 run in each of his 3 starts, a total of 3 runs. So with him having low run support, both pitchers pitching great, temperatures in the 40, winds in a little bit left to right, going to the foul line at over 12 miles an hour. I also like under 3.5 for the first 5. So both side and total in this game, White Sox -0.5, -120, and under 3.5 for the first 5.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, I'm seeing the wind blowing directly in from center, although it is single digits, so I don't know if it's going to affect it that much. But, Ralph, we're seeing the first 6.5 starting to pop up here for the full game. This is one where if bettors want to get involved, the steam is coming. I do it sooner rather than later. I'm not sure that's a follow-up, Ralph, but that's what I had for the White Sox and the Royals. Of course, this is an early start game. First pitch in Chicago is about 90 minutes from now.
Well, Teddy, you know, as you were typing in, I went to the database. So 6.5s, when I look at the MLB since 2002, when you have a total of 6.5, 55% to the under with over 2,000 games. So we say it often, folks, there's a reason the number's low. A lot of public people say, 6.5, I'm not betting under that. But it shows you 55% have hit to the under in that role.
Ralph Michaels, everyone. Ralph, we got to move to some NBA. Teddy, you wanted to keep talking? You got that look. You got that.
No, that wasn't that look.
Just
that was just that's the look that normally just comes to my face as soon as you start talking, Prez.
Oh, I love you, Teddy. Ralph, Raptors against the 76ers. Never in history has a team come back from down 3-0. I hope it happens this time, though. Not because I'm a Raptors fan, but also because I just want to laugh at Doc Rivers and Joel Embiid. Anyway, what do you got for us in this game?
Well, before I talk to this game, let me jump ahead to this weekend and Game 7s. I want to remind people that since 2015, if you blindly played every NBA Game 7 under the total, you've hit 67%. Since 2002, if you have played every NBA playoff Game number 7 under the total, you have won 62%. So that is not relative this week, but I do want to give you something to look ahead for the weekend. I know I will not play a Game 7 over in the NBA. I just will not. There's so much pressure. And again, 67% to the under. Teddy, I want to get your thoughts on Game 7 for this weekend since we won't be on the air. How about Game 7 for you? Are you under or pass, or are there circumstances where you would play the over?
I imagine there might be some circumstance in some game and some games that might point me. But really, what you're saying, Ralph, is not a surprise to me at all. We talk about the 67% in recent years. Basically, when it comes to Game 7s, not just me, but me and everyone I know that bets NBA, it's a one-way bet. It's under or pass. And I know multiple bettors that I know, it doesn't matter. It's every game 7. They're just blindly playing it under. So if you like the under in a game 7, that's when you want to get to the betting window earlier, not later with, because you can count on one-way action on the total for any game 7 number, as long as the books haven't over-adjusted on their open.
Well, I bring up game 7 and give you guys something to look ahead for the weekend. But how about this? Game 6s are very, very tight as well. Why? You've traveled now, first 2 at home, first 2 on the road, travel. One team's up 3-2. Since 2009, if you bet playoff game 6s, it's not the wow percentage, but it is 58% to the under. That's every game 6 since 2009. And if the previous 2 games went under total, like they did in Philadelphia in this series, they've gone 71% to the under. So we now have the series with 4 straight unders. And in those last 4 games, one of the teams has shot 50% or higher 3 of those 4 games. I am actually going to play this first half. Why? Because if a team is on the brink of elimination late in the game, you may start fouling. The first half number at 108, a very generous number in this situation. So remember, game 6, over-under since 2009, 58% to the under. And game 6 over and unders, if game 4 and game 5 of the series went under the total, 71% to the under. I'm taking the 76ers and Raptors under 108 for the first half.
Wonderful having you, Ralph. I love this show on Thursdays, Teddy. I mean, Dave Cokin, Ralph Michaels, Carmine Bianco. That is a all-star cast. Ralph, take your Cleveland Browns shirt and get out. Well, you know what? Promote first. Promote. I'm very anti-Brown right now.
5-game package today for $29. 17-5 NHL, number 1 at WagerTalk, NHL win percentage. 11-1 NBA run, 4% and higher. I have one of those today. Number 1 NBA WagerTalk win percentage. And guys, WNBA starts next week. I put together an incredible WNBA guide that if you are ever going to bet a WNBA game, you're going to want to get it. I will have it posted later today or by tomorrow at the latest. Just check out my homepage at WagerTalk, wt.buzz/RM.
Awesome stuff, Ralph Michaels, everyone. And Teddy, we do not have a hard stop on our Thursday show, so we will have lots of time for Carmine Bianco. Ralph, out of here. Okay, Teddy. I was talking to our esteemed leader, Johnny Detroit, during that segment, and we have decided that we will donate all tips to charity. We will do it once every 3 months. So all tips given to us on the YouTube channel, we will donate to charity. Johnny and I are going to pick 3 charities, and we're going to have a vote, and we'll do that. What, Teddy? What? Fill me in. Talk to me.
I'm not allowed to be in the what charity discussion?
You know what? Teddy is going to pick the 3 charities himself, by
Just
himself.
One. Only one.
No, we're going to have a vote in the chat group.
I know,
So
but I
3.
get to pick one charity to be in the vote. There's one
I would
charity
like you to pick my charity too, Teddy, because I don't care. Whatever you want. I made that up about Johnny and I. It was just somebody had to pick the 3 damn charities. They're all yours to pick. I want you to pick 2 and get your son Isaac to pick 1, and then we will have a vote. Okay? It's in your hands.
I just want to pick
so
one.
now it's
you guys
not
can
in
pick
your
all the
hands.
rest.
You know who the most charitable guy I know is?
Carmine Bianco.
Damn freaking straight, baby. Carmine Bianco. And you really are the most charitable guy I know. Flat out.
You saying that actually ruins what I was going to say, which is I actually absolutely love the idea. I will every quarter, and Johnny's listening, so this is good. I will actually match the first $250 worth of tips on the show from your viewers, because a lot of them watch Puck Time as well too. So I'll go that far. But I like I'd like mine to go to Teddy's charity.
Okay, so now I have to match 2. So I'll tell you a quick story. I know.
So
I don't care about the time.
Note
I
that
am
what just
telling
happened
the
here.
story. I am telling the
But
story.
we have to. It's funny because we were getting tips, and now it's costing you money, Prez. That makes me laugh.
Notice how Teddy
Go
didn't
on.
offer. Anyway, quick story. So my brother, everybody, I've spoken about my brother. My brother is because my brother is in a stratosphere that we all dream of. And he took me and my other brother to Aspen for 8 days of skiing. That was like 3 weeks ago.
We
and
remember.
we're on the phone. We're on the phone organizing the trip. And my youngest brother says, man, I don't feel right having you pay for this entire trip. Lawrence and I will pay for the skiing and the rentals. What? I did. Then I come back and I get a bill for the skiing and the rentals. No joke. I call my brother on the phone. I'm like, dude, Darren made that statement. I did not. I didn't say I was paying. The youngest brother said he was paying. He offered that I would pay. I didn't agree. You don't take me on a trip and then send me a bill all because the other guy felt bad. So now Carm just did it to me again. Thanks, Carmy.
Wait till you see what I order when we go to Blue Bloods for that NHL
Yeah, you gotta give me
bet
the date.
that we made. Yeah,
Give me the date.
We'll pick one. Yeah, I'm
Carm,
looking forward to
let's
it.
get into it. New Jersey
Let's do
versus
it.
Carolina. Carolina is done. New Jersey, obviously. Carolina's, I don't know who they're going to play tonight. New Jersey. I think we're going to get a good effort from the Devils, but man, I don't know how to bet this game. I'm curious why you picked it.
I picked it because over the next couple of days, we're going to see a lot of games that aren't bettable, and there's going to be a lot of big dogs that win. I don't think this is going to be one of them, but you saw Arizona go into Minnesota a couple nights ago and beat them as a plus 450 dog. They went into Dallas yesterday and beat them as a plus 480 dog. Just big prices, but there are some games where some teams are still. Listen, Carolina locked up the Metro. They've got the number 1 seed in the Metro, but Brindamore still has this team. He's talked about in the pressers afterwards, saying we are going to start a majority of our lineup. We are going to have our guys out there. We want to finish on a bit of a run. They've won 5 straight. They're scoring goals, and they just beat this New Jersey team in New Jersey prior to that game against the Rangers. So they're on a bit of a run. Ranta's going to be in goal tonight. He had some time off, but he was in the starter's crease this morning during practice. A couple guys missing. I'm not sure if that was a maintenance thing or not, but their regular lineup is going to be in there. New Jersey's got the worst road record in the East. They're at 11-25-4. This team is playing out the season. There's no way you can take New Jersey here, even if you think they are, that dogs are going to be barking in the last couple of days. This is not a spot for it. Conversely, you look at the Canes, 28-8-4 at home. They love that post-game celebration at center ice for their fans, and they're going to do it again tonight. I'm going to take them in regulation time because you can't lay that number, but you can take them in regulation, and you're only laying about 145, 150 at the very most. So Canes for me tonight in what is a good spot, I believe.
So, Carmine, I don't know anything about the NHL, but the one thing that I've heard about 50 times in the last week is everyone wants to avoid playing Florida in the playoffs. And every game is like, they want to win to avoid playing Florida. They want to win to avoid playing Florida. Here are the Islanders and the Capitals tonight. Washington, road favorites. It's called a minus 135, minus 140. Total's been bet down. We're looking at 5.5 now. Do the Caps get the win to avoid playing Florida?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's the lesser of two evils, I guess, is the way you can look at it. If they win both games, they leapfrog Pittsburgh into that number 3 spot in the Metro, and they'll start on the road in the first round against the New York Rangers, and a team that plays very good defense and has Shesterkin, the goalie who's going to win the Vezina this year, in goal. But I think you'd rather play a team that, if you can get 3 goals, could get you the win, as opposed to playing a team like Florida that you might need 4 or 5 to outscore them and win a game. So can they do it? I think they do. I think they can. Washington can run the board. Vanecek is named as the starter in goal tonight. He was the first goalie off the ice this morning at practice, and he's got some really good numbers: 10, 3, and 2, 2.49 goals against average, .916 save percentage on the road. Against Metro teams, he's 8 and 2 with a 1.94 goals against average. His numbers against the Metro are very good, and it's a rapid revenge spot. They lost at home to this Islanders team 4-1, so now they're going there. And the Islanders play 2 games at home. They close off what has been a disastrous season for them, starting 13 games on the road, coming home to their new arena, and then getting hit by COVID. They were buried before they even started. And now they close off against Washington here, and then Tampa Bay tomorrow. Sorokin, who is going to have next year, bookmark this guy to win the Vezina. You'll get very good odds. Unfortunate for him this year, but he's a very good goalie, and you'll get a good price on him next year. I think they have no listed starter for tonight. I think he plays tomorrow because it's a meaningless game for Tampa Bay, who are going to rest some players tomorrow. Cooper has said it already that they're going to rest starters. So you might as well start him in your final home game against a team that is playing for nothing, as opposed to a team that is playing for something tonight. So it's Washington for me tonight, laying the -130-ish here.
Carmine Bianco. You're killing me, Smalls. What do you got to promote tonight, my friend? Love the shirt.
Yeah, 2-0 last night in NHL. Great run, 29-9 NHL run on the new year, 2022. Number 2 at WagerTalk, 51.46 bankroll gain in NHL. Teddy, I'm always transparent. October, Prez knows the first 30 days of the NHL season absolutely were horrible for me. From that point on, number 3 at WagerTalk, 75% bankroll gain, puck 149. You can get every single play the next couple days, of course, and then every single NHL play right through the playoffs for $149. And if you guys go to the deals section on the WagerTalk site, I put up a free contest for all our Puck Time guys. I'm going to give away some jerseys, some Puck Time swag, a bunch of coupons for WagerTalk. It's a free contest. Go over there, click on the link in our deal section, and join the contest. We've got 100+ people already in the contest. It's going to be fun.
Nice. Carm, we got to move on. We've got a prop show starting in just 10 minutes. Guys, I want to make mention, as we said, we are going to donate all tips to charity. We're going to do it once every 3 months. Carmine is going to match up to $250. Johnny Detroit in the chat room said he'll match up to $250. And Teddy and I in our Slack channel decided that we, as WagerTalk Today, will also match $250. Dan, cue up the presidential address, baby. Guys, I'm going to be really quick here. If you didn't watch WagerTalk Today on our YouTube channel, Thursday's show's always spectacular. Dave Cokin, Ralph Michaels, Carmine Bianco was just exceptional. Real quick, 2 games. Both of them were discussed today. I like the Vancouver Canucks -145 tonight, and I also like the Washington Capitals -135. Those plays were put down before the show begun. We had Dave Cokin agree with Vancouver, Carmine Bianco agree with Washington. So try to get down on those. Other than that, I have 2 baseball plays up for my clients. Teddy, I'm getting a veal sandwich, baby. Take us home.
Yeah, I got a 5% big ticket up tonight in the NBA. You can get it right now at wagertalk.com. We'll be back tomorrow to recap. Hopefully another winner. But between now and then, enjoy the games and good luck tonight.
All we can say is wow. We ran an NBA playoff special in which the first 99 packages sold were discounted down to $149, and pardon the pun, they sold like hotcakes. Well, NHL fans, do not fret, as we are not only matching that offer, but we are actually making it better. Starting Monday, April 25th, the first 99 packages sold using the code PUCK149 will not only get the entire NHL playoffs for only $149, but they will also get the rest of the regular season for free. That means that you can get over 2 months of NHL through the Stanley Cup Finals for under $19 per week. That's paying less than one single play package regularly priced at $25. Do not get shut out, as coupon code PUCK149 is good at both WagerTalk and Sports Memo, and only will be available for the first 99 packages sold, but you may use